Starting your own Amazon business can cost anywhere from $0 to $1,500 and all the way up to like $50K. But for me, starting my own business, it was one product and it cost me a little over $18,000. That amount is pretty shocking, but I have a secret. I didn't actually pay for it all myself, and I'll reveal how I got that money in just a minute. I'm also going to share with you all my costs. I'm going to break down each step as I created this product and how much each of those steps cost me. I'm also going to tell you how you can do it even cheaper than I did, but starting that Amazon FBA business, it can be really expensive. So pay attention to make sure that you can build your own business as cheap as possible. On average, it costs sellers about $3,500 to start their own Amazon FBA business. Helium 10 will be your first expense. This is a research tool that will help you find your product, and it costs about $40 a month. Then you'll have a logo and package design for your product, and that could cost you maybe $200. Photos for your Amazon listing to make sure that looks good, that might cost you about $50. And then you'll have to buy UPC codes, and those would be about $30. Before you start manufacturing your product, you'll have to spend money on samples. So that could be $100. That it really depends on your product. Then your first full production run could cost between $5,000 and $10,000. Shipping then, will be maybe $500 to get it to a fulfillment center, and then it would cost $200 or so probably to register your business as an LLC or DBA. And finally, setting up your Amazon seller account will cost $39.99. Now I'm going to give you some real life examples and go over all these expenses in much more depth. But if you don't know me, my name is Brian, and the Amazon FBA expert Travis reached out to me to share my story on his channel so that I could tell you how much it cost me and share some of the lessons learned in costs so that you can minimize yours, and you can hear how much it costs to actually do this from someone who has done it. Before I reveal my exact startup costs, I want you to know that I've been where you are, and I've been nervous about starting my own business too. I grew up playing board games. I ended up feeling a little trapped in my day job as a software engineer, so I wanted to be my own boss and start my own business. So I did that with my business partner Clayton, and we launched Pull the Pin Games. Now we built a passionate fan base, and we're constantly launching new board game products and selling them on Kickstarter and Amazon, and also our own Shopify site. All the costs today that I'm going to talk about are about how I launched this new version of Good Cop, Bad Cop. It ended up costing us about $18,500 in total to start this new branch of our Amazon board game business. And that sounds like a lot, but we didn't actually pay for all of it. We started with a Kickstarter campaign, and that raised pretty much all of our upfront production costs to start it, and we got it 100% funded. Now, make sure to hit that like button because I'm going to share all the costs of starting my Amazon business, and that will hopefully help you understand what you can expect when you do it yourself. Plus, I'm going to share some useful tips on how you can save money when starting your own business, and I'll do that in just a minute. So for example, Mina only spent $1,500 to start his Amazon business. Now he's doing over $100,000 in sales every month. Steven spent $1,800 to start his business. Now he's been able to quit his job and pay his bills from his Amazon business. And AJ, he was a student in Travis's Amazon FBA program. I'll talk more about him soon, but he was actually able to start his own business for $0. He used Indiegogo, similar to how we use Kickstarter, but he's done over $90,000 in sales on Indiegogo. Let's break down how much it's actually going to cost you to start your own business on Amazon. And then there's some mandatory fees as well for starting your Amazon FBA business. And then some optional fees too that you can consider. For example, a lot of people think that you need to pay for product research tools, but that's not exactly true. I'll give you some techniques on how you can do some product research for free, and we'll talk about that later. The first mandatory fee is the design for your product. That would be things like a logo or packaging design. I would spend at least $200 on this kind of thing. It's important. It's kind of the first impression of your product. It cost us about $3,000 to hire an illustrator for this newest version of Good Cop, Bad Cop. So there's a lot of cards that we had to get illustrated in the box, and so So, this might not be a cost that you would need to spend. So to get your logo and packaging designed for your product, you can use Fiverr. We've used them in the past. Upwork is another one, or 99 Designs. For example, like 99 Designs, how they would do it is if you had some packaging or a logo, you would describe what you're looking for, then various artists would give you examples of what they think it could look like, and then you choose the one that you like best, and then you'd go with that. So gives you lots of options. You're also going to need to get a UPC for your product. So that is going to uniquely identify your product compared to all the other products in the world. The best thing to do here is to get it from gs1.org. That'll cost you $180 for 6 UPC codes. If you're going to sell on Amazon, you should make sure to get it from GS1, the official source for these barcodes. You can get it from a less official source like a buyabarcode.com. That's one that we've used in the past. And we'll use that for products that we don't sell on Amazon. Then we might just sell a little promo pack or something that we'd sell directly on our website. But anything you sell on Amazon, definitely get a GS1 barcode. The next thing you'll want to do is pay for samples for your product. Before you pay thousands and thousands of dollars on a full production print run, you want to make sure that what they're going to be making is something that you're happy with. So a lot of times you can get a sample for free from a manufacturer. So that will probably cost you around maybe $40 to get something air-shipped, a sample air-shipped from China. We had to spend about $250 to get samples of the products that we were making for this Good Cop, Bad Cop Kickstarter campaign. We always want to make sure that everything is perfect before we do that large print run. And we also print some extra samples to give to influencers. So podcasters, YouTubers, board game reviewers in our case, to get some buzz going for a campaign before we launch. If you're unsure of how to find a manufacturer for your product, there's an expert Amazon seller named Travis, and he's made a free video. I'll link it here and down below as well. And it'll show you step by step how you can find a manufacturer yourself for your product. One factor to consider is how many units of the product you want to manufacture. So my recommendation, it depends on your product, but my recommendation is to get quotes for different amounts. So for us, we'll usually do like 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. And then how many we make depends on how successful that Kickstarter campaign is, how many backers we have. But at each of those points, there's a pretty big discount on each unit, these economies of scale. So this will help you decide which amount is right for you. But basically, you'll want to get print enough for about 3 to 6 months worth of inventory. For us, it cost about $4,600 to get 2,100 units of Good Cop, Bad Cop made. That was our pretty standard print run size for us. But we make board games. You might be making something different. And then you're going to have to pay for shipping from your manufacturer to the Amazon warehouse. You'll have to decide if you want to ship by sea or by air. And air is a lot quicker, but also way more expensive. Sea shipping, it takes a long time, but it's a lot cheaper. And so how quickly you need that product and how big it is will help you make that decision. For us, it was about $1,800 to get Good Cop, Bad Cop shipped from the manufacturer in China to a US warehouse. And then from there, we were able to ship to Kickstarter backers who could be all over the world. We use sea shipping, sea freight, because it was a couple pallets, and to get that shipped by air, it would have been ridiculously expensive, way, way, way too much. So we ship by sea, and when we do that, it will usually take about 6 weeks for it to get from China to the US, to a US port. Next up, let's talk about photos. This is important because I know me as a consumer on Amazon, I will usually make my purchasing decision based on the photos. I look at a few different products. If I'm, buying a new toothbrush or whatever it is, I'll look at the pictures and they'll probably tell me the story of whether this makes sense for me. This is the right product. This is what I'm looking for. So make sure when you put your product out there that you spend time thinking about the pictures, the photos that you're using, the title, the rating, the metadata as well about your product. These are things that are going to take a little time up front to make sure they're just right, but they will pay off over time on your Amazon product sales. You can take actual pictures with a camera if you want, and that can work well. We've done that. You can also do computer renderings. It kind of depends on what we're looking for. Whatever you think is going to best sell your product, to give your customers a visual description of what your product is and how it's going to help them solve the problem that they have, or, for us, like, have fun playing the game. Paying someone to take pictures or do a computer rendering might cost you $50, maybe up to $150, depending on who you choose. For Good Cop, Bad Cop, I save money by doing the photos myself. So they were a combination, actually, of taking actual pictures of the game set up in different ways, and then also doing some renderings, with my limited graphic design skills. We saved some money doing it that way. We certainly could have hired influencers, especially like Instagram. There's some good Instagram accounts. They're all about pictures. So you can hire them to take photos, then they can post them on their channel and then get some kind of buzz going for it, as well as get those pictures or, images that you can use on your Amazon page as well. So that's a really good option you should consider. Another cost you'll have is to register your business. And this will cost somewhere between probably $100 and $500. It depends on the state that you choose to register in. But you'll get an LLC that you probably get an LLC. That stands for a limited liability company. There's some other types of businesses you could consider, but LLC is by far the most common. Getting this LLC will do quite a few things for you. It's something that you really have to do. You'll need it to set up a business bank account, a business credit card, and then it will also show Amazon that you're a legitimate business, and plus it'll give you some legal protection too. It'll separate your business assets from your personal assets. We ended up registering our business in South Dakota. That's where my business partner lives. It was only $90, so it's really cheap compared to a lot of other states where you might do it. The last fee to consider is the Amazon seller account fee, and there's two types that you can consider here. You can do the free account, and that will charge you 99 cents for every item that you sell, or there's a professional account that has some additional benefits, but that will cost you $39.99. So you just want to make sure to certainly go with the professional account if you're going to sell at least 40 items per month. Altogether, most likely it's going to cost you $3,000 to $5,000 to start your Amazon FBA business. But remember, if you don't have a lot of money, you can actually start it for $0 if you do something like we did, like using Kickstarter, or you can use Indiegogo, or there's other crowdfunding platforms you can think about too. For me, with those essential fees that I already went into, I spent about $12,500 to get my business started. It's a lot to spend, but we also decided to get some help from our loyal fan base to pay for it. And we actually made some new fans by launching a Kickstarter campaign. So some of the costs that went into that were like a video. So a video, we did a professional video to show how the game is played and why somebody might want to back for it. And that cost us about $1,300. We spent about $4,700 on ads. So a lot of them were, like meta ads, or, there's some specific board game websites that are also good places for us to advertise on. So all in, it was under $5,000 that we spent to build that awareness for this new version of Good Cop, Bad Cop. But in just a few weeks on Kickstarter, we were fully funded, and we knew we were going to be able to make this game and have this money to pay for these upfront costs that I already described. So for me, these aren't all the final costs. There's some optional ones that you can consider before you start your business. So for example, you can use a tool such as Helium 10 or Jungle Scout to do some product research. If you're a new brand, you may not need to spend money on these types of tools. But if this is your first business or your first product, you probably do want to spend some money on this type of thing to do this product research. So you can even use the discount code below for Helium 10, and that will give you the whole suite of the Helium 10 tools. There's also a deal for Jungle Scout that I'll link below as well. These are going to help you understand who is searching for your product, and maybe potentially other products out there that people want that are not available on Amazon. But for me personally, if I were new to Amazon FBA, I'd probably go with something like Jungle Scout and do it for a month, find a product or get the information that I need from it, and then cancel it. Plus, you could just not use a research tool also, and you can kind of figure it out on your own. Or here's a video I'll link as well on how you can do it for free in other ways. But when we started working on this new version of Good Cop, Bad Cop, we already developed so many games that we knew how to build it. We knew how to launch Kickstarter campaigns. We've done 13 successful Kickstarter campaigns already, and we knew this new version, this product that we created could be a success. So we created the idea for the game, the design, all in-house. So that was all free. We did all of that in-house to make sure we were creating the product that we wanted and we were happy with. As far as software tools, that's another expense. That's a cost you'll probably have. So we spent $95 for things like MailerLite for emails, Azure to host our website, the Adobe tools for graphic design that we needed to do. And then you'd probably need some, at least for us, like a storage account, like a Dropbox. So you'll need to pay some money for these types of software tools, but those are the ones that we used, so you can consider using them too. We've been happy with all of those. Another optional fee is Amazon PPC. That stands for pay per click, and it's where Amazon will put your product at the top of search results. Every time somebody clicks it, then you'll pay a bit of money. They may not buy it, but if they just click it to view into your product page, you'll pay for that and just hope that they buy it. So that's what PPC is. It's another option you have, another way to invest money and hopefully get some sales out of it. We didn't use PPC for Good Cop, Bad Cop, but we did spend that money that I mentioned before on the advertising to build awareness for the Kickstarter campaign on board game sites and then also on Meta. Another important optional fee is education. And it's just spending money to learn more about how to do this and how to do it right. You might want to look into a mentor. So someone who has an Amazon FBA course, and this will usually cost less than $1,000. And if they're charging more, they're probably scamming you. So just make sure you do some research on this mentor or host and make sure that they have some legitimate experience and expertise in this area. For example, the Amazon seller Travis Marziani, he has made 7 figures selling his products on Amazon, and his program can really speed up your success. Another important thing to keep in mind is you're going to make less mistakes because you're going to be learning from someone else who has probably made those mistakes in the past, and they can tell you how to avoid them. So you can save thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars and hours of stress by finding this mentor or investing in education. You can bypass hours of trying to find up-to-date videos, wade through tons of useless info, and directly learn from an expert like Travis if you sign up for the Passion Product Formula, which is linked below. So invest in yourself and join this course. I love board games and I wanted to be my own boss. So that's why I built this passive income business. I know you can do it too. If these are goals that you have as well, consider joining Travis's Amazon FBA program, the Passion Product Formula. It can change your life. You won't regret it. It cost me about $18,500 to launch this new version of Good Cop, Bad Cop on Amazon. And in Travis's course, you'll get over 100 step-by-step tutorials. You'll get one-on-one coaching. You can check out exclusive Q&As, and all of these things will help you build your own Amazon business and do it as cost effectively as possible. And launch a new product, like get your product out there. So there is a link. Check out the link below in the description, and that will show you how to join. Another option if you want a free course, if you're not willing to invest in that, Travis also has a free one, a 10-hour Amazon FBA course that you can try out by clicking right here.